it's a big difference. All right. You say Al Bundy can wait on you, that's fine.
Well, I mean, as long as the person isn't pushy and telling me, no, I don't care how much a shoe is, as long as it's comfortable. But I don't have problems like at 9 West, especially. I think that's one reason why I go back. The shoe is good, the shoes last, the people are nice, and I usually go to Fields too, and I never have a problem with people waiting on me.
Okay, so you've been okay with that.
Nice.
When I've gone to a store like Chernon's, which carries good shoes at a discount, I don't like their salesman policy if they can't help you because you might have a difficult foot. And, I'll see if they'll turn you over. And then I said, I don't want to be turned over, and I'll walk out. So that turns me off from a store like that.
Okay, even though you like the sales and you like the kinds of shoe.
If I'm lucky and I get it, then they're happy. If you don't succeed with the first salesperson, they'll turn you over, and I resent that.
No, that's not taking care of you. At Payless, you serve yourself, and you only pay when you check out. Tell me about looking for shoes, because even though you're not going to pay a lot of money, you still want the shoe to look a certain way. How do you choose one over another in Payless?
Well, basically, I only buy this type of shoe there. And so I just want a standard, black pump.
I always have that.
Because that goes with everything. I mean, I will invest money in tennis shoes, or like the boots. But basically, I'm just going in looking for, a standard black pump that can go with everything, with every dress-up outfit I have, pretty much. Because I predominantly wear black, so.
So black pumps works for you.
Right.
Are there lots of Payless shoes in this area?
Oh my God, they're in every corner. I just moved here. Like I go in there like this, but I mean, they're all over the place.
So no trouble finding a Payless.
No.
Okay? All right. People talked about the shoe had to be comfortable. It was the second item after the fit. Please define comfort. So how do you know it's comfortable? If it does what? Well, that's comfortable. What's the signal?
It doesn't squeeze your toes. Your heel doesn't hurt when you walk. It doesn't give you blisters. I mean, none of that you have to work it in. I don't believe in that. Because you should never hurt your foot, ever.
You should not have to break in a shoe as your...
I have never had problems with shoes and being uncomfortable, getting blisters. If so, I bring them back. I mean, I don't care if I've worn them. I bring them right back to the store.
All right. Other folks are looking for, it's comfortable when it is or does what by your standards?
Gives with my foot.
Say more about that.
I have a very wide foot, and I'm very hard on shoes. So if I don't feel a little give, I mean, if it's like so stiff that it won't go with my foot, then I know it's going to hurt my foot later. It's got to be able to move.
Okay. All right. Other folks, how do you define comfort?
Well, I like a little bit of a heel on most shoes that I wear because I have a real high instep. And I don't know why, but my foot doesn't seem to lay flat because of the instep, so I can't have anything that's built up real high, like with straps or anything. So I've got to look for a certain style also. But it has to be something that my foot will slide into comfortably. Because flats, I just can't wear flats right. I had the flats on when I was at the zoo, and I just got a mess from them. Hirachis, I'll never wear them again.
You have to have some little heel back.
Just a little heel I usually have.
Okay. All right. Any other ground rules people have? My shoe has to be X, Y, Z, or it's not comfortable. Her little heel has to be...
I have to have a long last shoe, and it took me years to figure out what I was buying wrong until the salesman explained to me the type of shoe I needed, and ever since then, that's the kind of shoe I look for.
Does it matter who makes it, or
No.
more the shoe?
No, it could be, make has nothing to do with it. Although I usually stay with Naturalizer because I know they'll fit. I know it. I could buy it without trying it on. But I'll always try a shoe. As soon as I put my foot in, I could tell immediately it's right or it's wrong.
And that long last is your signal.
Right, exactly.
All right. Is it possible to get comfortable shoes that also look good?
Oh, yeah, sure.
Okay.
The last pair of shoes I bought, I don't wear my dressy shoes enough to spend a lot of money, but I walked into a very fine store, and it was a low heel, and it would go with dress. It was a heel that you could wear dressy or not. And I put it on, and I have a bunion, and I have a trouble with my left foot, and that shoe was so comfortable. I could tell the difference between other shoes that I've had. I had to have them stretch out the left foot because it's too, And it was much more than I anticipated paying. But it really did, and I've worn, and I don't wear dress shoes for extended hours. And that shoe I happened to have, and I had no problem, which was most unusual. And the comfort was there immediately. I could tell.
But you paid more.
I don't know.
Paid a little
I
more.
don't know.
Okay.
I don't.
You didn't even pause. You said, yes, you can get a comfortable shoe that's also attractive because.
Well, if you're willing to pay, you can find a comfortable shoe that's stylish.
Can you not get a comfortable shoe for less? Is it possible to get a mid-price or low-price shoe that's also comfortable?
Well, it depends on what kind of shoe you're talking about.
Pumps, dressy flats, or
Dressy flats, yeah, I guess.
how about pumps?
I am real hard on shoes, and I have a hard time fitting my shoes because I have one size that's the same. I've got an 8.5 pair. Who said that was here? So when I find a brand name that finally fits, I mean, I've screwed up my feet all my life because I was afraid to go to an 8.5. I had to stay at an 8. You know, I didn't want my feet to look so big. So for so many years, I scrunched my feet into these shoes, and I finally got wise. And so when I find a brand that I like, I'll look for that brand in a certain, more so dressy. Flat, I can find.
A comfortable shoe doesn't cost a whole lot.
Yeah.
All right, good enough. Heel size relates to comfort. She says she has to have a heel or it's not comfortable. Yours looked fairly high. How tall are you?
I'm 5'2.5".
Do you wear a high shoe for any reason? Because that
Yeah.
was a fairly high heel.
Because I think it makes you look thinner.
Okay. So how comfortable is that high heel?
Well, these aren't comfortable, and because I don't think any Payless shoes can be because they're poorly made.
Okay.
It's bad quality.
Okay, put the price tag. Put the price tag. We're honest facts here. This is great. All right, so you wear a higher shoe because you're short?
No, because I think it makes me look thinner.
Okay, so looking thinner. You
Yeah.
look thin to me.
I think I'll look better with high heels.
High heel. Okay, I'll go for that. All right. Other folks, heel size or heel height and comfort.
When I was Dawn's age, and even 10 years or maybe 20 years older, it was always the spike heel because it gave whatever you wore a marvelous look. Today, and that's why I have trouble probably with my feet today. And at this point of my life, I realize that comfort is much more important.
You're shaking your head. Everything she said.
It came to a point where comfort is the important thing. And I just lucked into a pair of Liz Claiborne that I never ever would have thought of trying in a silk shoe. And it had a smaller heel than I wanted to replace the others. But because they were comfortable, I thought, well, what the heck? When you're in a room, nobody sees your shoes anyhow.
No, it just finishes the outfit.
You're standing among people and nobody looks down. So I bought these, but it doesn't have the look of a high heel.
Okay.
A high heel, when you see a gorgeous girl somewhere, she's always in a high heel.
All right, Laura.
I disagree.
The other side of the coin. Her 1,000 people say something different. What are your thousands?
No, what I don't understand, okay, I have two very big complaints. I can't wear high heels.
Because?
Thank God I'm tall. Thank God. Because one, okay, if you're going to get a high heel, first of all, you get these feet that are this big and something that's this compact, and then you want to get a bigger shoe because you figure it's going to be more comfortable. No, it doesn't work. Honest to God, it doesn't work. My mom has tried everything. She wants me in, the skirts and no, it doesn't work.
Not you.
But what happens is then you get this bigger shoe and then you're slipping out of it because it's not fitting right.
Mm-hmm.
It just doesn't work.
So how do you handle getting dressed up? Because you can't wear
I wear
LA gear.
flats.
Flats is how you handle it. Okay. And
I have heels, but by the time I get into the car, they're off. By the time I get into the restaurant, they're off. By the time we do any dancing, I'm dancing in my stockings.
Okay.
I mean, proms, I did. Thank God it was a long dress. No. Just don't step on my feet, okay?
Flats are how you solve the problem.
Yeah.
Okay, got it.